What's up, comic book fans, and welcome to Comics Icons. Now, JJ, what they call me, and today we got more Fall of the House of X. This time with issue 12 of the Avengers. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Avengers finally join in on this Orchis action, so you know it's about to go down, right? Now, up until this point, they've been sitting on the sidelines after Stark had held them back until they could mount a proper counterattack. And now that Stark has completed his Mark 72 armor and the mutants have begun their assault, then now it's time for the Avengers to get involved. And if you need to get caught up on the Fall of the House of X to this point, then I place a card at the top of the screen and a link at the end of the video to the playlist. But if you guys are ready to see how Earth's mightiest heroes help to turn the tide in this mutant war, then you know what time it is. Let's get it. So we begin this story with Tony Stark pleading his case to the Avengers on their sentient base, the Impossible City. Everybody has a sentient home these days, I guess. But he's attempting to rally the troops. They've been previously ready to help in this fight against Orchis, but Stark had convinced them to stay their hand until Stark could work with the mutants to get all their ducks in a row. He had asked the Avengers to wait for him to give the word go before they punched back. But now the ducks are in a row, so Stark wants to say it now so everyone can hear it. Go. And like that, the Avengers officially get involved in this fight, and their first target is an Orchis automated Sentinel factory complex in Alaska, and the Avengers straight up dismantle this place. Then we pick up with the Orchis-based Juno, and specifically with a meeting between MODOK and 3D Man. See, MODOK himself had hired 3D Man to run Orchis' Avengers desk, and he had previously told MODOK that the Avengers weren't going to just keep sitting on the sidelines. But MODOK had considered them to be insignificant, and MODOK defends himself that, in comparison to Krakoa, an entire nation that Orchis was able to break, the Avengers aren't even a rogue state, hiding out in orbit. Insignificant. But 3D Man lets him know that those insignificants just totaled an entire Sentinel factory in Alaska in less than 20 minutes. And then he reiterates that he was hired because he can see things that no one else can. The danger's hidden in plain sight. He saw the Skrulls. He saw the mutants. And he's been telling them that the Avengers are dangerous. As we then pick back up with the Avengers as they've just taken down that Alaskan factory. And now they expect that Orchis knows that they're coming now. And as they fly over Canadian airspace, Iron Man is hoping to mix it up with some box sentinels that are sent to intercept them. But Vision assures them that it's not likely going to happen. This operation hinges on them moving too quickly for Orchis to respond effectively. But Thor assures Tony that he'll get his fill of sentinels in due time. And FYI, this is all taking place before Stark's fight with Fei Long in the Australian outback in the Iron Man Fall of the House of X tie-ins. So we know that Stark will definitely be getting his fill. But then these guys head back home to the Impossible City as Captain Marvel radios for the other team, the Secret Avengers she calls them. As we then pick up at the second Avengers target, the Orchis Mutant Re-Education Center in Oklahoma. And the Black Panther responds to Captain Marvel to not call them the Secret Avengers, as he takes out all the guards in his control room. And now Black Panther has control over all of the systems, and he's disabled the prisoners' control collars. And Carol's like, man, that was fast. But T'Challa lets her know that he had viruses running for months. You know, Black Panther's always got his own plans. And Carol responds that he never told her that. And T'Challa replies that there's plenty that he doesn't tell her about. And then he unlocks the cells, freeing the prisoners. Then he radios to the prisoners who he is and that the Avengers have taken control of this facility and they're about to be teleported up out of there. But as the prisoners step out of their cells, the guards are there with guns to force them back into the cells. But then the guards are all knocked back as Captain America's shield comes flying in. And they're met with Captain America and Scarlet Witch, who tell them all to put down their guns. But these Orchis clowns are like, we got guns and you only got a shield. You think we're scared of you? And Cap's like, nah, that's not my thing. You should be scared of her and him as Black Panther comes in attacking them from behind. Meanwhile, the prisoners are being teleported to the impossible city. And one of them runs up to Vision and is like, hey, you got to go back there and help them. There's only 3 of them. Talking about Captain America, Scarlet Witch, and Black Panther. And Vision's response is, yes, only 3. Not particularly fair for Orchis, is it? And the 3 of them straight up wipe out that facility. Then we go back to 3D Man and MODOK. And 3D Man fills in MODOK that the Avengers just liberated a facility in Oklahoma. So now MODOK wants to listen to 3D Man, and he asks him where the Avengers are going next. But 3D Man's like, I can see angles, not the future. You ignored my warnings and thought the Avengers were up there hiding. But what they were really doing was planning. So he thinks about it for a minute. And then he starts to try to put the puzzle together. The impossible city and the Avengers in it. It's not a refugee, he says. It's the sword of Damocles hanging above our heads. A very, very sharp blade, but one easily blunted. They knew that they'd only get one shot at this. And if they took it at the wrong time, it would be wasted. Then we pick up with the 4th Avengers target, an Orchis data core farm in Minnesota. And Captain Marvel is playing a little baseball with Thor as she hurls a Stark Sentinel at him to be caught by the swing of the hammer. And Thor comments that it would be so much easier if he could just use his lightning on this facility. But Stark reminds him that Orchis hardening his sight against lightning was the first thing that they did because of Storm. But Stark and Vision are able to access the power source for this facility, and they have Thor to come power it down. And then we go back to 3D Man, and he tells MODOK that now the Minnesota farm is down, and the Avengers are gone. How do they know where to strike, MODOK asks. How have they compromised our systems? And 3D Man realizes that it has to be the Black Panther. He's the ultimate Wakandan operative, raised from birth to destroy nations from the inside out if Wakanda required it. Then back on Impossible City, Captain Marvel warns the team that she's out of time and her negabands are about to switch her out with a girl named Una, since the 2 of them are in an entangled situation like in the Marvels movie. But Una comes in now, and Captain Marvel is gone. And Una speaks with one of those reprogrammed Manslayer plastoids, now a part of the sentient city. So Una basically speaks directly to the city via the plastoids. And she's like, they're really doing it, huh? They're taking on Orchis. Which the city confirms that it's them along with the other heroes of the world. And Una's like, that's good, but I have to ask, how long until Orchis comes after them? As we then switch scenes again to the Avengers target number 6, another mutant re-education center, this time in Louisiana. And Scarlet Witch is being an absolute badass. As these Orchis guards all fire at her, she stops the bullets in midair and tells them, I'm gonna hold these bullets here for 60 seconds while you reconsider your actions. And then I'm gonna send them back. I suggest you not be here when I do. That's cold-blooded right there, y'all. And then Cap and Panther are putting in work on this facility as well, but Scarlet Witch borrows Cap's shield for a second and then uses her telekinesis to quickly take out all the rest of these guards. And T'Challa then checks in with the city after liberating another facility. But the city is having a great time, calling this all thrilling, having this many new guests. Then we switch back to 3D Man and MODOK. And 3D Man is still trying to figure out what the Avengers are planning and how to stop them. And now he's like, this can't just be the Black Panther. It's got to be all of them. Thor is ancient. He must have fought in thousands of campaigns. And Iron Man is a seasoned corporate raider. Captain Marvel has a military mind, and the Vision has a computer for a brain. Not to mention the chaos from the Scarlet Witch. They're systematically removing our ability to wage war at a fantastic speed. They have teleport capacity that we can't tap into. We can't intercept them, he determines. So what do we do in response? MODOK says. 3D Man's reply is, grant me operational capacity to do my job. You want the Avengers handled? I'll handle them, while you all deal with the mutants. Give me an iron fist, MODOK, and I'll wrap it around the Avengers' throat. I'll swat them out of the sky. As we then pick up with the 8th Avengers target, an Orchis long-range communications hub in the Azores. And the Avengers are wiping out this facility just as they have been with all the rest. But this time they're interrupted by Una when she radios them. "You've got to get back," she screams to them. "You've run out of time. You thought if you could hit them fast enough, they'd never catch you. But they don't want to catch you. They don't have to. They just have to catch us." As we now see the impossible city in Earth's orbit is now Orchis target number 1, and tons of Sentinels have just been dispatched there. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the issue. So how'd you guys like this issue? And what did you think about the Avengers getting involved in this Orchis war finally? I think I've made it pretty clear throughout this event that I think it's over with for Orchis. But they're about to take it to the Avengers right now. So how do you guys think the Impossible City will fare after this Orchis attack? And do you think they'll finally get MODOK out of this fight for good? Definitely can't wait to hear from you guys. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and this channel, and you'd like to support the channel, then you guys could do so by joining the Iconic Fan Club channel membership. And I'll make sure to put a link in the description to join, but with your membership, you'll gain access to weekly interactive live streams with yours truly. And we can talk about everything that's been going down in these issues, as well as preview other issues and other comic book news and shows and everything of the culture. Plus, you guys will get loyalty badges, member shout-outs, and more. Or you guys can donate to the channel with a super thanks. And if you're not able to do that, then you can still be a huge help to the future of this channel by dropping a like, share, and subscribing to Comics Icons for more icons in the comic book world. But ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I'm out. Peace.